Peace. So today I will go through a perspective, one of the perspectives in the Quran about the story of Moses and Pharaoh, which is the most elaborate story explained in the Quran of the messengers of God from the beginning to the end in the Quran. And I'll show you how it went down with when Moses came to Pharaoh and his people and what happened. And in this perspective we'll see how the exchange goes and how it relates to what's happening today on the earth and happens every time a messenger of God comes to their people like me. It's always the same perspective. There's no difference in how it actually unfolds. It's the details that are a little different. The guy is different, the character is different, the name is different. The whole story remains always the same. So it is in chapter 40, the Sure Forgiver, and it's sign number 23 all the way to around sign 50, 55. Yeah, we'll see when that story ends. So I'm going to read this and then explain on the fly what's going on. So let's see how this goes. Let's read it from chapter 40, sign number 23. And already we sent Moses with our signs and authority clear to Pharaoh and Haman and Karun, but they said, magician falsifier. So here Moses comes to Pharaoh and his two chiefs, Haman and Karun, and as he comes to them, they call him a magician falsifier. So this is what happens to every messenger. They're either called mad, magician, falsifier, deluded. Yeah. So let's continue. But when came to them with the truth from within us, they said, kill sons of those who believe with him, and let live their women, and not plan of the rejectors, except in astrayness. So this is what usually happens when a threat comes to the satanic people, the rejectors who are either Satans or satanic, like on the earth today. Most of your leaders are either Satans or absolute satanic evil psychopaths leading you into absolute destitution, into the hellfire. So whenever someone comes who is against them and he stands up against them, and those who are with him, who do they attack first? They kill your men, obviously. It's not like Pharaoh made up a new methodology how to weaken the enemy. The men are the strength of the people, not the women. The men, the women are easily controllable. It's obvious. So they will kill the men, sons of them. That's why they were killing all the sons. Also, Pharaoh knew of this enemy that he would get from within the sons of Israel. And that's why he was killing the sons of Israel. They already had the inspirations from before, the writings in the scriptures. Like these people also know what's going to happen, the rejectors, the Satans. They just are trying to prevent it or delay it. In the end, their plan always ends in astrayness, as did that of Pharaoh, which is a clear example and a clear warning to all these so-called satanic pharaohs on the earth. You can call them all pharaohs. They're all the same. There's no difference. So let's continue. And said Pharaoh, leave me, I will kill Moses, and let him call his Lord. Surely I fear that he will change your way, or that it appears in the earth, the war. And said Moses, surely I seek refuge with my Lord and your Lord from every arrogant, not he believes with day of the account. So now Pharaoh stands up, says, I'm going to kill Moses. Leave me, I will kill him and let him call his Lord. Yeah? I fear that he's going to change your way. So this way in Arabic is the word deen, which these idiots on the earth, all of them call religion. There's no such thing as religion. Your religion is your way. Your way is your religion. So if you're an atheist, that's your religion. If you're someone who thinks he's God, that's your religion. If somebody who thinks that he is the best spiritualist guide on the earth and that he himself is God's partner, then that's your way, your religion. So now whenever an enemy comes to the authority on the earth, so-called authority, that Pharaoh had power and authority on the earth, anybody who stands against them, they will want to kill him. I mean, they don't want to relinquish their authority, which is what's going on today as well. So to the response to that Pharaoh says, Moses' response is what? He seeks refuge with the Lord. His Lord, which is your Lord as well. You don't understand it. And Pharaoh's Lord as well is the God, the one God of all of us. And he seeks refuge with the Lord. He doesn't seek refuge with you people. I don't come and seek refuge with you. I seek refuge with the Lord. He will protect me either via the angels, the heavens or the earths, or the Satans themselves. I mean, he commands the Satans as well, you must understand. So if he tells that God damned Satan, or his damned Satan, his cursed Satan, then he must protect me. He has no ability to raise a finger over me. Yeah, even if he tries, and his minions that are under him, like Pharaoh was obviously a follower of the highest Satan, who is called Iblis and is a demon. So if God tells that Iblis, piece of shit garbage, that you cannot touch this man, in this case Moses, nobody can touch that man. Okay, and that's how it works with the messengers. Nobody can touch the messenger of God till God lets them do it. And in some cases, many cases, he has let them kill the messengers and the prophets. And after that, what comes to those people, you cannot imagine, because you have not yet seen the wrath of God descend upon you, all you people on the earth. You think that this is a problem that's going on right now, that your lives are in shambles. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's coming. Don't you worry about it, because you've rejected God. You've rejected His messengers. You've rejected the books. You've rejected the true life, which is the hereafter. So now let's continue. After Moses seeks refuge with his Lord and their Lord, what happens after that?
And said a man, believer, from family of Pharaoh, he hid his faith. Are you killing a man that he says, my Lord the God, and has come to you with the clarities from your Lord? And if he be falsifier, but over him his falsehood, and if he be truthful, it will come to you some of what he promises you. Surely the God, not he guides one, he trespasses, falsifies.
So here's a man from family of Pharaoh who was a believer, and he hid his faith, and he stands up for Moses. He said, why you want to kill a guy who's just saying my Lord is God? And he's come with clarities, because he came and showed the signs, his hand all bright and white without evil, throwing the staff and it turns into a living snake. It stirs living. He showed them that signs, and then after that they want to kill him. And he's telling them that if he's a falsifier, his falsehood is over him. And if he's truthful, it's going to come to you what he's promised, some of what you're being promised by him. And God doesn't guide the trespasses, the one who trespasses and falsifies. So if he's falsifying, nothing's going to happen to you, and the same thing applies to any other messenger like me. If I'm lying to you about God, then the lie is over me, not over you. But if I'm telling the truth and you don't do your due diligence and you just negate what I say and just run your way, then watch what happens to you, as is going to happen to Pharaoh as we go along this story, and has happened to every other generation where God has sent His messenger with the absolute truth. And today the absolute truth is the Quran, and the absolute truth is what I say from the Quran, and I judge from the Quran with the will of God. We don't judge with our own will. We will to judge with this Quran, and then God guides us to judge with this Quran, which is the absolute truth.
O my people, to you the kingship the day apparent in the earth, but who? He will help us from war of the God if comes to us. Said Pharaoh, not I show you, except what I see, and not I guide you, except path, the conscientious.
So Pharaoh responds to his family member saying, I'm only showing you what I see, and I guide you only the conscientiousness, the path of the conscientiousness. Now, the problem with Pharaoh is, he is showing you what he sees with his eyes, just like you. His heart is blind. He can't see the truth, which the believer is seeing here, which I see as well as every other messenger, every other prophet, and every other true believer. We see with our hearts. We don't see just with our eyes. Our eyes depend on our heart to show us what actually is going on. While Pharaoh is truthful here from his perspective because his heart is completely shut and blinded, and he's telling them, I'm only showing you except what I see, and I only guide you the path of the conscientiousness or the conscientious path. So what is he falling for? His blindness, his self-glory, his beauty of the life of the world that he's seeing in front of us. That's what he's falling for. And that's what happens every time your stupid, idiotic, psychopathic, insane leaders tell you this exact same thing. And because you are also blind, you fall for that path which seems to be the conscientious path. And it is the path to the hellfire. Let's continue.
And said the one who believed, O my people, surely I fear over you, example of day of the societies, example of creatures of people of Noah, and Ad, and Thamud, and those from after them, and not the God, he wants wrongdoing to the servants. And O my people, surely I fear over you, day of the wailing, a day you will turn backing, not to you from the God from stopping. And one he makes astray, the God, but not to him from guide.
So here the believer from the family of Pharaoh is telling his people, hey, I fear over you this day that is coming, just like what I'm warning you. This believer is warning you, and every other believer is going to warn you the same thing. And he's giving them examples of those from before. Noah, Ad, Thamud. Yeah, these people were all destroyed, just like the Quran clearly explains this. And if you really look into the Torah and the Injil, you'll find these examples there as well. They are corrupted, they are hidden, but those examples are there. If not these ones, others are there for sure, where people were completely destroyed, decimated from the sons of Israel and others on the earth by God's wrath when it comes. And he's telling them that you're not going to be able to be stopped from God when that war comes. Nobody's going to help you that day. Yeah. And then let's continue.
And already came to you Joseph from before with the clarities, but not you declined in doubting from what came to you with it, till when killed you said, not will he bring out the God from after him messengers. Like that he makes astray the God, one, he trespasses, doubts.
So now he's giving them the example of Joseph, one of the original sons of Israel, one of the 12 original sons of Israel, from which all the 12 tribes of Israel spawned from those 12 men, Joseph being the highest chosen of them. And he's telling them that, he came to you with clarities and you didn't decline doubting. You kept doubting till he was dead, till he got killed. You said, God will not bring out from after him messengers. So this is what these morons who call themselves Muslims, who have no idea what the Quran is all about, and they are not Muslims. I hate calling them Muslims because they're absolutely rejectors and those who partner with God. They are not Muslims, not the Muslim this Quran explains, which is the true absolute Muslim is Abraham, and everyone who follows him is the true Muslim, actually follows him, not the words they utter from their mouth, which most people just utter the words and follow nothing. And like that, God makes astray one who trespasses doubt. So now when you utter this garbage, which they've uttered, everyone's uttered this garbage, no more messengers like from the so-called Muslim world, and most others have no clue what a messenger of God is. So you will be astray. God will make you astray. Let's continue.
Those they dispute in signs of the God without authority brought them. Great hatred with the God and with those who believe. Like that he shuts, the God, over every heart arrogant, violent.
So understand this aspect. So those who dispute in the signs of God without authority brought them, which is all of you who have no authority over this book because you don't understand one word of this book properly, and you make your thoughts your gods instead of putting yourself under this book, instead of criticizing what's written in this book. If you make yourself the criticism of this book that you are and I am, and take that criticism and change yourself to what this book is saying directly, then the things that you can't understand will later be explained. And that's what you guys do. You dispute without authority. And it is great hatred with the God and with those who believe. Like me, we hate those people who use their thoughts and take one or two lines here or there and make up their God-damned, cursed ideology of nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Let's continue.
And said Pharaoh, O Haman, construct to me a platform. Maybe I reach the paths of the heavens, so I rise to God of Moses. And surely to my surely thinking, he falsifies. And like that beautified to Pharaoh, evil his deed, and stopped over the path, and not plan of Pharaoh, except in destruction.
So now analyze this. He's telling one of his chiefs called Haman, the other one is Karun, that make a platform so that I can go up and find the paths of the heavens and rise up to God of Moses. And I think Moses is falsifying. So what are they doing today with all these rockets they're firing up? And they're making you believe they've gone millions and hundreds of millions and billions of miles from Earth. What a joke. They haven't gone 60, 70 miles from the Earth. They can't go anywhere. This is all nonsense. They're trying to tell you here in this book, God is trying to tell you and his messengers, that you can't go anywhere. This is all a hoax in front of you, that they've shown you that they've left the earth and the heaven. There's nowhere to go from here because you're blocked. There is place to go if you can get around the heaven, but you can't. It's blocked. We are trapped in this earth and heaven system till we die. And we only get out when we sleep, which is death fundamentally, or when we die, our soul goes. This body ain't going anywhere, yeah? Unless, of course, God raises you up by himself. But you ain't got any authority to cross this heaven without God's command. And these people on the earth who are absolute Satans, all the space agencies are bloody liars. They are doing the same thing that Pharaoh told his chief to do, to make me a platform, and so I can find the path and rise to God of Moses. And like that, beautify to Pharaoh his evil deed. And he was stopped over the path of God, and his plan was in destruction. What's going to happen to them? The same thing is going to happen again. I mean, all of this stuff is written in this Quran. You people are so blind that it is funny to see how you bring your stupid, insane science and try and convince us that we are crazy, while you have no idea what you're talking about. And you see pictures in movies and make that your truth, made by absolute satanic, psychopathic, insane entities called demons and satanic men and satanic demons and Satans themselves. Yeah, this is what's going on today. You guys are falling hook, line and sinker just like every other generation before you. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's continue.
And said the one who believed, O my people, follow me. I will guide you path, the conscientious. O my people, surely what this, the life of the world, play, and surely the hereafter, here home, the standing. One who does evil, but not he repaid, except example of her. And one who does righteousness, from male or female, and he believer, but those, they will enter the garden, they sustained in her without account. And O my people, what to me? I call you to the safety, and you surely call me to the fire. You surely call me to my rejecting with the God, and my partnering with him, what not to me with it knowledge. And I call you to the mighty, the forgiving. No doubt, surely what you surely call me to it, not to it calling in the world, and not in the hereafter. And surely we will be turned to the God, and surely the trespassers, they companions of the fire. But soon you will remember what I say to you, and I send my command to the God. Surely the God watches with the servants.
So now here you see the believer who is saying fundamentally what Moses would tell you, or I would tell you, or any other messenger would tell you, the reality. This world is just play and lightness, frivolity. Yeah, the hereafter is the standing home, the home that you stand. That's the conscientious path, to look for the hereafter after your death. This life is just a joke, and you will be paid example of what you do. If you do evil, you'll be paid example of that. If you do righteousness, and you're a believer, you will enter the garden, and you will be sustained in the garden without account. There you can do whatever the hell you want in the hereafter. God will give you whatever you want, and more that you have no understanding of. This place cannot give you anything starting to resemble what you're going to get in the garden in the hereafter. The death is assured. You're not going to live forever here. Understand that aspect. When you know that aspect, that you're not going to live forever here, you don't know when you're going to die, the next second, or the next year, or the next decade, or the next day or night. You don't know when you're going to die. I mean, who has that ability to tell me he knows he's not going to die tonight or tomorrow? Which moron is going to utter that garbage and then see God do it to him, what he thinks is not going to happen to him? So, and he's telling them, warning that I'm not going to call what you're calling Pharaoh as your God. All these stupid leaders, the insane psychopaths called Trudeau or Biden or Macron or Boris or Andrews and all the Xi Jinpings and all the other moronic, psychopathic, satanic pieces of garbage who will go to hell with you if you join them. They want you to join them. All this whole exercise that is being done to you is to make you submit to their calling. Not in a million years will I submit to these pieces of garbage. They will have to submit to what I say, or they will go to hell. Yes, the other side also needs you to submit to them. Just like this side needs you to submit to them. If you submit to that side, you're going to hell. If you submit to this side, you're going to the garden. But the submission is the only way to God. You aren't going to go there thinking you're God, or I thinking I'm God, and you think somebody is equal to God, or has some place in front of God to take over his godship and kingship or lordship. You're insane, psychopathically, psychologically deranged, and totally in a oblivious state of absolute self-glory, which you will soon find out will end you in the hellfire. So that's how it works. Yeah? And then he's sending his command to God. So let's see what happens after that. He's told them all of this, like me as well. I've already sent my command to God a long time ago. Let's see what happens after that.
So stopped him the God, evils of what they plotted, and surrounded with family of Pharaoh, evil, the punishment. The fire they turned over her morning and evening, and a day she stands, the hour they will enter, family of Pharaoh, severe, the punishment.
So, what happens here? God stopped the evils that they plotted over him, the believer who is from the family of Pharaoh. He just doesn't protect the messengers and the prophets. He protects all believers. He is the protector. and God of all believers. You don't understand. One man can cause the decline of every person on the earth if you screw with that one man. And that one man is me today. You screw with me, and God is going to freaking massacre you all after that. And He may not even let you get close to me, by the way. Or He may let you kill me. Either ways, you do anything against me, you will end in such destruction that you have no understanding. And these morons, Pharaoh and his people that followed him and all his other family, because he's the only one who got saved, the family member that was believing, they are turned over the fire morning and evening. How is that? Because right now they are already in the fire. You have to understand, people are burning in the fire. And then the confirmation is, and a day she stands the hour, which is the last day, the last hour, which will end all of this creation, and the next creation will officially begin. Then they will enter the severe punishment. So there is a punishment going on right now under the earth where the hellfire exists, and they're burning there. And Pharaoh and his morons who followed them, most of his people, the bottom line is most people follow their leaders who are absolute satanic, nonsensical, psychopathical, idiotic, nonsensical, absolutely nonsensical pieces of garbage. They follow them, and you are becoming like that, like the people who followed Pharaoh. They frighten you and they follow them. You follow them. Yeah? They frighten you, you follow them. And thus you become of the lost, deluded souls that will go to the hellfire. And this will only be shown to you when you actually die. Until then, you can keep doubting what I'm saying. I don't doubt that I'm going to die. I don't doubt that I don't know what's going to happen to me, how God will deal with me before my death. It's all a trial. I mean, if I knew what was going to happen, I would do everything according to that and would find the perfect way to the end. No, I don't know. I have to plot my way based on this book and what's happening out there and do what God has told me to deliver this warning to you morons who don't listen, have no understanding, and you open your mouth, all these truthers that are telling you the truth and telling you to join them and give them your wealth to have them tell you what's going on are the biggest morons right after the nonsensical psychopaths that are your leaders, because they are making wealth from your insanity because you're oblivious. While if you read this book, the Quran, it will tell you in absolute detail to what's going on every page of the 600 odd pages that the Arabic is written on. It will tell you exactly. So this is how it ends. This is one aspect, one perspective of what happened with Moses and Pharaoh. And there are so many that I've spent now 20 years almost going through this, and I still don't stop getting inspiration as to the nuances of what this book is saying. So with that, we end it today. It's been a pretty tough session. I've been quite bellicose, and I don't give a damn because you guys are totally lost, and I don't see any hope for anyone on the earth today. It's going to hell in a handbasket, as they say. To hell in a handbasket. All right then. Peace.